Okay, you guys on YouTube, I am now in the kitchen of Katie and Mike, and she is going to mix a drink for me, even as we speak. And she used to be a bartender when she had vision, and so she has like a full bar here, it sounds like. Ooh, kitty! Wow, big cat. What color?
Depends on which one you got.
Ah,
Okay.
scoundrel.
So she's gray with darker stripes.
Aw, hi kitty.
So you should, Connie, you should go on the side of her to actually view her doing what.
Well, I'll angle so she can see me.
Okay.
I'm just trying to find the right bottle.
She said the kitties will not bug you if you have your cane out, but I like kitties, so that's funny. Should I stand like over here somewhere?
Yep, I'm just looking for the peach schnapps.
You probably want to take about a step back.
Uh-huh.
Are you talking to me?
Not you, Turk.
Oh.
Yeah, tell me how I can get the best shot. But, I mean, she has... Well, I can tell you more about this in the interview, but, she has only been blind for... Mike's ignoring you.
Oh, I was one step to my right. My bad. Okay, so we pour it in. That's the orange juice. This is the little cup I was telling you about.
Can I see the...
Uh-huh.
Where am I thinking?
Right here.
Okay.
And it has a liquid level indicator on it.
Yep.
So when that's on it...
Here, I'll give it
you
back
have it in your
to
hand?
I don't want to mess up my own. She's going to make me a bloody navel.
Fuzzy navel.
Yeah, whatever. I called it that the other day too, and my brother Reed was laughing his head off.
I'll bet.
So Reed, I'm going to sample the drink you were talking about.
So that beeping is the liquid level indicator.
Yep. Telling me it reached the line.
So that's how you know how
Yep.
much.
And then it goes in the glass. And then the liquid level indicator goes on the glass. Take up the orange juice.
So it's orange juice and peach schnapps.
Correct.
Oh boy, but I don't know if I dare have alcohol 2 days in a row. I'm
And
being
would you like a straw?
corrupted. Sure.
Okay, they're across on the island. I'll go get you one.
Okay.
I got you.
Thank you.
And this pot
There you
roast
go.
smells delish.
Here you go.
Awesome, thanks.
And then I'll make Kelly's Tito's and cranberry juice.
And
Do you have orange vodka or just regular?
I have berry and I have just regular. I know you said orange juice is typically too acidic for you, but I typically in my vodka cran just throw a splash of orange juice in it. If you want, I can do that for you.
You know what I'm rethinking?
yum. This
Do you
is
have some of that iced tea? Not the one in the jug, but the one that you. Oh no, the side.
okay. So this is the way around device.
Yeah.
She's going to demo it for us now. It's just a very tiny little thing, like rectangular.
Heading.
That one's a blank one. I go over here.
Heading. Description. Double tap to get to this. White cloud connected. Description. Your setting. Basil. Heading.
It doesn't
Basil.
help when I touch my phone.
Right.
I just keep screwing it up because I keep touching my phone.
Heading.
Bay leaves.
So you're just
I
swipe.
just hold it on there.
Weird.
So
Just
here.
hold it on there.
Here.
Wow.
So put that in your hand,
Uh-huh.
and you just touch it onto the top of it while it's beeping,
Heading.
and there it goes.
Oh
Bay
wow,
leaves,
that
heading.
is so cool.
Yep. So I do it for like all my t-shirts.
Uh-huh. You can put what color they are or whatever.
Or like what they say.
Say.
So like I have one on my shirt that says "You're on my,
Oh,
you're
give
in my
us
blind
that.
spot,"
Wow, that's
or a blue Yazoo shirt, or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Yep. And we put them on. We buy a lot of the Simply juices, like Simply lemonade, Simply
All
orange
right,
juice.
so you
they
know-
all feel the same.
Uh-huh.
So we'll put one on all of those.
So how do you attach it? With a rubber band?
I
or-
put a rubber hand on one of those clips, and then I
Yep.
put it around it so it hangs right off the top.
That's awesome.
Cans of soup, because you can't feel the difference between chicken noodle or chicken
Exactly.
and dumpling or whatever. So I do it for those.
And like you can put like how to make something too if you wanted, right?
I can give myself directions. I can do all kinds of stuff.
That's awesome.
And then there's a magnet one on the fridge. It's not up to date right now, so I'm not going to read it.
Uh-huh.
But it has like all the leftovers and things that are in the refrigerator because food will go bad because I just forget it's in there.
Right.
So we do that. Yeah, they have a lot of really cool uses.
No kidding.
And they're not very expensive, and they're all reprogrammable. So like if I have a shirt and it gets a hole in it.
What do the actual tags feel like? I've never.
I brought some
They're
over for Connie
plastic.
to
They're
feel.
just really little. And this says ice here on a refrigerator. There's a
Oh,
braille.
Braille.
that's in Braille.
Yeah.
It says water and ice. Well, here on my oven too, I have on the back of the oven here, like in the right hand side, this button says BK, which is for bake, and then there's BR for broil.
But I suppose now you have it mostly memorized,
And
don't
then
you?
there's UP for where I need to turn it up. And then down, you can like feel around if you want. And the microwave has braille on it, and the washer and dryer.
So Jeannie did all.
Jeannie did all
Wow,
that.
very
Okay,
awesome.
what's the white tags feel like?
Here, let me. So the ones on my spices, here, Kelly, you can feel.
And she's learning
if you
Braille,
feel through
too.
the
She
top,
now has
there's these,
all of
you
grade
can feel
1
the
learned,
square
learning
lump
grade
under it.
2, and
Yep,
getting a
those
Braille
are the
display
four
next
metal
month.
Stickers, because these are
Oh,
metal
and it
lids.
says basil on it.
Well-
So you had to write it on there?
Well, Mike did, so he can see it.
Wait, but it's
And
like
when
printed
she
on
was
there.
sighted,
Yeah, so what
well, I'll
happened
tell
was
you
he
that
put
when we
the
get into the
wayside
interview
on first,
portion,
and
but
then he
she
put the label on
used to
next.
be a volunteer
It-
for
and
Be
no,
My
it-
Eyes
no, it
before
came
she ever.
like-
We've had a wonderful evening at Katie and Mike's house. They just are the hostess with the mostest, pretty much.
I try.
Everything was delish, and then we just been talking, and I keep every few minutes, oh, we better do this interview before we run out of time, because our ride is coming at like 9 o'clock for Kelly and I to go back. Kelly's getting leftovers she's going to take back to her house. So, anyway, but yeah, Katie is just so cool. I mean, I remember when Rory met her for the first time, and he was just telling us a little bit about her during our family Skype calls that we have, and was just telling us like how this lady had lost all of her sight within just a few months, and how like she had to learn her way around her house all over again, and what a long road she had ahead of her and all that. And I'm gonna start to cry.
Oh, don't do that. You'll make me cry. I'm a sympathy crier.
That's funny, but she just come such a long way. And so just start at the beginning and tell us whatever you want to tell us about how you found out about your eyes or whatever.
So I in February of 2022, I was getting ready to be in a wedding, and so I had bachelorette party weekend, and I woke up that next Monday, and I don't know, I think that most people probably do this that are sighted. They turn and pick up their phone off their nightstand and look at the time, and I realized it looked a little weird. So I closed my right eye and I could see the time, and I closed my left eye and I could not see the time.
Wow.
And I honestly at the time just thought maybe I partied too hard on bachelorette for a weekend, but I made an appointment with my normal eye doctor, and he couldn't find anything wrong. So he sent me to a retina specialist, and I was going there for a while, and they couldn't find anything, and they ran blood tests, and they sent me for a brain MRI to rule out like a tumor or MS.
I wonder why it was so hard to figure out.
Well, it's apparently pretty rare in women.
Wow.
So they were trying to get me into, I needed to go to a neurological ophthalmologist, and there's only like 2 in this region. They were trying to get me into one at Vanderbilt, and I didn't have health insurance. So Vanderbilt kept saying that they weren't taking self-pay patients. And I was still working, and I have to give a major shout out to my coworkers / family at the Yazoo Brewing Company here in town, because they made more than unreasonable accommodations to keep me working so I could keep paying for doctor's appointments and things. And one of the regulars, just like anybody would if you're randomly going blind, asked if I had any updates, and I said no, they're still getting the runaround that Vanderbilt's not taking any self-pay patients. And there was a semi-regular who I kind of knew but didn't know well sitting there at the bar. He said, Katie, can you please repeat that for me? And I'm like, Vanderbilt's saying they're not taking any more self-pay patients. And he's like, what doctor do you need to see? And I said, Dr. Reed Longmire. What I didn't know at the time is that regular was like an award-winning pediatric surgeon at Vanderbilt. So he sent in an email, and 2 days later I had an appointment. And so I finally went in,
Wow.
and the doctor was great, and he said, so it's pretty rare, especially in women, but I've missed it before, and you're going to have to get a genetic blood test, but it's called Leber's hereditary optic neuropathy, and it does tend to hit around 30, and you're 31. So he sent me for a genetic blood test, and 10 weeks later I called because I still hadn't heard anything, and they told me 6 to 8 weeks. And they called me back, and apparently he had to call the lab. He was infuriated. But they confirmed my diagnosis over the phone of Leber's hereditary optic neuropathy with a mutation number of 11778A. You learn to remember this stuff. And told me to apply for Social Security and Medicare, and that was it. And about 14 months later, I got my first SSDI check. And we did some research online. I had some personal problems and things come through, and I don't know if you'd like me to cover that or not. Because I moved out of my house for a decade. My relationship of a decade ended, and lots of other
Because
crazy
of her
things
blindness.
Because of my blindness.
But she had such a super partner.
And Mike and I have been friends for many, many years, and he takes great care of me. But we found Hadley, which led us to the NFB, and last year I went to the NFB Christmas party, and I met Kelly James,
That's
who
me.
is
That's her.
Rory, Connie's brother, and Kelly helped me start to meet some people.
So they were the first blind people she met.
Yep. And
she didn't meet Rory.
well, I knew
You-
Rory.
Kelly
when I
first.
could see.
That's right.
I knew I saw Rory play when I could see.
Yeah.
Didn't know
And I didn't know it. It took a while to click together.
Mhm.
And then I went to NFB convention in April, and I made friends with Yvonne Newbert and James Brown, and they came to my house. And it was the first time I learned voiceover.
Just so you went blind over a 4-month period, right?
I went blind. Yeah, I started going blind in February 22. It was pretty much gone by June. I got my diagnosis in September. And it wasn't until October of 23 that I got Social Security. Wow. It was November
so
of
all that
20
time,
Yeah.
she knew nothing really
And I
about
had no income.
resources or income.
I had no income. December of 23, I met Kelly. January of 24, I heard the words voiceover. April of 24, somebody taught me how to use voiceover, but to save a contact and call a phone number.
Mm-hmm.
August of 24, I went to Leader Dog from the 18th till the 24th, and I got white cane skills. But again, that was 2 years and 6 months after I went blind. And then I started going to...
Yeah, like you were telling me, what was it in April that these people from the NFB were saying, let us teach you.
Let us help you. Yep, that's when
Like,
that happened.
they-
I had already been blind for 2 years.
So that was only a few months ago that she heard the word sighted guide for the first
First time.
time and learned how to hold her cane properly.
Yep.
Before that, she was just holding it in front of her.
Yep, I went 2 years before I learned anything at all.
And so now there's this really nothing she can't do, or the few things she can't do, she'll learn.
I got grade 1 Braille done. I'm learning grade 2 Braille now. I'm doing pretty well. I got all the short form words down. If anybody ever wants to know what those are, I can go through it. I'm now learning other Braille letters. I can email with Microsoft Outlook on JAWS, and I can email on my phone. I recently learned how to Facebook. And this coming Thursday, I will make Thanksgiving for anybody that wants to come over, and then anybody is welcome on Friday
And
for
when she says
leftovers.
anybody, she means like dozens of people can come over.
Yep, last year we had 22, and I had no skills then. I literally was figuring it out on my own, and we did Thanksgiving blind last year and the year before. And I will do leftovers Friday, and I will boil down my turkey carcass and make literally 2 or 3 different kinds of soup for Saturday and Sunday and football.
And like today, she had a dentist appointment, and well, first she had company. She always has company, and like she has people staying at her house all the time. and the lady she had today just left today. So after this lady left, well,
We
last
left at the same time.
last night she had company till like 1 in the morning or something.
We did. 1 in the morning he left. And then I had Yvonne staying overnight. The time it made us 10 minutes late for my dentist appointment because we all left at the same time. And then I came home and I finished dinner for you guys.
Yeah, and like this was an intense dentist appointment. She has severe like
it was
anxiety.
3 hours.
And like
3
she was
hours.
shaking literally because she has bad anxiety, and it was like an intense thing. And then she comes
Well,
here.
they couldn't get me numb.
Yeah. and-
So everything kept being painful. The swelling is finally all the way gone
So
now.
like she was dealing with all that and still made a pot roast and everything for us because she said, "Well, you're only here for 1 day, Connie, and I wanted to get to know you or whatever." So
Have to.
I mean, I told her I wouldn't even do that when I'm feeling well.
I
so.
get it.
Maybe next year you and, because James and JP are going to Ski for Light in January.
Mhm.
So maybe next year, Katie, you can go with them. And Connie lives right near
Ooh,
there.
that would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Now, I can't go because we're on our cruise then, but y'all can go.
Wow.
Yeah, there's some of my story. There's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, there was 9 weeks of high dose prednisone where I was on 1 milligram per kilogram that I weigh. I was on like 110 milligrams of prednisone, which made me kind of crazy.
Like why?
Because there are some optic nerve and retina conditions that prednisone helps with, and because they didn't know what I had, they were just like literally throwing mud at the wall.
So they just kind of gave you something.
Yeah, they just drugged me up for
What?
no reason. I was crazy. I gained
What?
weight. Sometimes I was crying. Sometimes I was laughing. Sometimes I was yelling. And none of it was my fault.
Hmm.
Yeah, they,
Do you remember much about it, or were you kind of out of it?
Oh
or-
no, I remember,
Wow.
and I owe a lot. Well, I don't owe because I've done it, but there were a lot of apologies. But luckily for me, most of my friends and family understood that that was outside of my control.
Mhm.
But the mood swings are just inevitable. If you've ever been on crazy high dose steroids, roid rage really is a thing. And you can't help it. You can't change it. You know, there was like the brain MRI with and without contrast. And I remember going there, and I remember you go in this like little trailer. First, we had to like go take me to a piercer because I have a permanent nose ring. And so they had to go take that out, and then I went for the MRI, and then I had to go back for them to put it back in.
Aw.
But then I go in for the MRI, and I'm like shaking, and I'm like freaking out a little, but I'm trying, and I keep apologizing. So everybody yells at me all the time. I apologize too much.
You do apologize too
I
much.
apologize a lot. And the lady is like, so normally when somebody seems as narration, and I try to tell them it's an option, but I try to talk them out of it, she's like, in your case, I think I'm going to recommend medication. I'm like, I think that's probably a good idea, but this is kind of a funny story. Because she picks up the phone and calls into the building, and she's like, so I'm going to need some medication for Catherine here for her MRI. And she's like, and I think we should go ahead and make it a double dose. And so a girl comes in with 2 little, I'm sure you felt those little cups before, like medicine cups.
Oh,
that
yeah.
They put like a pill in one,
Yeah, shot
the
cups.
pills in
Shot
one,
Yep.
and water in the other. So I go to tip the pills back and then the water, and she goes, hold on. I want you to chew these up because I want them to work very well and very
Wow.
quickly. So she had me chew up
Was
2
it gross?
Valium
I bet it. Ew.
and then drink the water so it wasn't so gross. But man, do I hardly remember that MRI because I was pretty much out for it.
That's so crazy.
It was so funny. It's one of the funny, like, trying to get diagnosed blind stories that I actually kind of have.
So remember Roy, I'm trying to remember what he told me when he first met you about like how you were getting around your house, like some of the cool techniques that you guys are just kind of figuring out.
So, when you're here in the living room, and I don't know if you're wearing your glasses or not to
Yep.
be able to look around and show people, but there
Yep.
are lights on in here.
Uh-huh.
But when I walk, So there's a big rectangular area
Yeah.
rug in this room.
So like you can put
And
one
when I-
foot on the carpet.
So I put one foot on the carpet and one on the floor.
Yeah,
When
I mean
get
it's
to
cool.
the end of that area rug, when I get to the next area rug,
Uh-huh.
it's at the middle of the staircase. So I can put my left hand
Oh.
out, find the banister, and I can walk up the stairs.
So like she's just totally comfortable, obviously,
if I
in her own
don't want to
house.
walk up the stairs and
Uh-huh.
I keep going to the end of that same carpet line,
Right.
it goes to the middle of the downstairs bathroom door. So
I
when
mean
I
that's
leave the carpet
excellent.
line, I'm at the bathroom door.
Yep.
And then when I walk to the next carpet, I'm at the bar. And that's where I can make you guys drinks.
Yep.
And then when I turn right and I get to the end of the carpet line, that's where the fridge starts.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I walk to the next carpet, it takes me to the sink.
That's
And then
excellent.
if I come back here and I get to the bar carpet line and I turn left to go to the bathroom carpet line,
Mm-hmm.
and then I come here to the bottom of the stairs carpet line. If I go left, there's the carpet that takes me to the front door.
So do you think like if the carpet was removed, would you be able
I'd be fucked up as a fool. Used to that.
Yep.
Because what happened was, so what was really funny was when we started, the first resource we found was Hadley, like in Illinois.
Yep.
And
No,
the first
mm.
thing they say is to remove area carpets because they're a tripping
Oh.
hazard. But for us, Mike found a way that like
It-
secures them to the floor.
Right.
So they're not going to lift up and I'm not going to trip. And he was like, well, that's bad advice because
Yeah.
carpets help her.
That can come in handy.
They
Yeah.
come in handy for me because
Yep.
it's a tactile thing I can feel. And when I have another blind or low vision person come in the house,
Mm-hmm.
I can tell them follow carpet lines. You won't walk into
Exactly.
furniture. You won't get bruises. You're not going to get hurt.
So
you're not
even
going to
people
trip.
that, yeah, even anybody could just.
Yep. Well, even sighted people, when they come here, I tell them when they get here or when they're on their way, the parking spots are labeled.
Mm-hmm.
Pull into one that says 218. When you get out of the car, walk forward until you get to the sidewalk. Turn right. Keep the grass line to your left. And I say this to both blind and sighted people. When the grass line ends, turn left. Follow the grass line on your left. When the grass line ends, you'll hit concrete. When you hit that concrete, that's our patio. Reach up to open the gate, and then you just use your cane to come into the. And you know, if it's
Wow.
a sighted person, they don't need their cane,
Right.
but they just come
But
to
you
my
can
front
totally
door.
tell them exactly what they need to do.
And yeah, my O&M, the first time she came here, I'm like, so look, the only way I know how to give directions is a blind person. But go to the grass ends, turn left, go to the grass ends, you're at our patio.
Yep.
And she told me when she came in here, she's like, that's freaking genius. That works for blind people and sighted people.
Exactly. That is awesome.
Yep.
I mean, I know there's so
I'm
many
just
things
learning
I'm
as
gonna...
I go. I'm sure I could learn a lot from you.
Oh,
But
well,
I love my
God.
way tags. I love my
Yeah.
braille label maker. I'm figuring it out.
That's excellent. I can't wait to talk to you again in a year whenever I come back to see what all you're doing after that.
I hope you come back before a year.
I know, me too. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I know there's a lot of things I'm forgetting to ask her that she's just been telling me this whole time that I've just been so impressed with, but we can always do a part 2 whenever I'm back again.
We
You can
can,
also
and
do
you
it-
can call me or do a
Awesome.
Zoom or figure out something
you
else.
There
Were,
you
you were
go.
able to do it with your sister in Montana, remote, right?
Yeah, over Skype or Zoom or anything like that,
yeah, you
so
can
Yeah.
do that with her.
yeah, very
If you
good.
ever want to, I'm here.
Awesome. Very good. Well, thanks for being willing to do this.
Anytime.
And Mike, where did Mike go?
He's upstairs doing something.
Oh, I was going to
can
have
hear
him say hi, but
I
yeah,
can hear him creaking.
next time. But yeah, this has just been so fascinating, and
Well, next time you're here in person too, we'll be silly. We have a lot of fun shirts.
ooh,
Like Mike has
wait, say the name of the shirt again.
it says service human still in training may bite.
I
And
love
he
it.
has service human do not pet. I have you're in my blind spot. I have one with like a stick figure holding a cane that says don't make me cane whip you. And I have one with a stick figure holding a cane that says, "Warning, I have a stick and I know how to use it."
Where do you find all these?
Mike found those ones on Amazon. I also
Really?
have a best friend that makes us shirts. So Mike's always been a funny t-shirt person. So like when COVID shut down live touring, excuse me 1 second, I hate when there's no background music. It's like,
Oh yeah, and all of a sudden went off.
play
Yeah.
Carrie's Country on Sirius XM. I wonder if it went off.
I know. I didn't even notice it when I'm.
No, it's going back on now.
Is it? Okay.
Apple TV went off though. Yeah, now it's on.
I don't hear it.
I don't either.
Not yet, but it's.
Oh,
Oh,
there
there,
we go.
it goes.
Oh, now it just went off. That's weird.
And she can do her own TV now. When did you discover the voiceover?
Play Carrie's Country on Sirius XM. So the TVs are all Roku TVs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
But
now it's.
Mike
Yep.
figured out that the Fire Stick was the way to go for me because of the A-word button.
Uh-huh.
So he got Fire Sticks everywhere. And then there are 2 remotes for down here, 2 remotes for upstairs, 1 for me, 1 for him, so I can always find one. And if I can't find one, he can help me find one.
Mm-hmm.
So I spend most of my time talking to the A-word button. Sorry, there are 8 or 9. We always lose count.
I
how
have
many
several as
A-words.
well.
Yeah, we always, because our thermostat's one, there's one in each room. I recently learned the only show in the house is in here in the living room.
Huh.
I recently learned, though, that I could hold things in front of the camera and ask her what it is.
Uh-huh.
So
you might want that in your closet.
Uh-huh.
You might want that in your closet then.
We're
Oh.
thinking that. But Jamie's got some lighting stuff on my VR order, too, because we figured out that I have a little bit more peripheral sight than I thought I did. It's not a lot, and it's not super useful, but that's one thing they do at TRC, is they're teaching me to rework my brain and my eyes to try to use the little bit I have left.
Right.
Because safety-wise, it's useful because I can tell the difference between a sidewalk and a street.
Oh.
And if I position my eyes just right, I can see, like, the white lines in a parking lot.
That could be useful, yeah.
And Mike drives a white car. So if he's parked on a black parking lot, I can actually find his car.
Okay.